Hey moms, I'm Erica Zeal here with you today, creator of Nocta Fitness, and today I'm going to address the topic of getting rid of that belly bulge. Now, for you pregnant moms that are listening, before you be like, okay, well obviously my belly's getting bigger, this is not for me. It actually is. I'm going to talk about a lot of that, some of that core stuff that I address in a lot of things that I talk about, but I'm going to go into a little bit more on posture. Okay, so even if you're pregnant, there's a lot of things that you can do and take away from these tips that I'm going to give you that will help you not only while you're pregnant, but then of course really help you after baby to get those flat abs back that I know many of you moms are sitting at home right now and being like slouching and no core is turned on and your back might even hurt, your neck might be tight. I hear it all the time, especially when I get moms that first come in, whether they're pregnant, whether they're a new mom, even moms that have 20-year-olds. It's amazing how unless you really, really connect and learn to re-engage those deep core muscles after baby, it literally, you'll still be having that weak core, 20 years, 30 years down the road. And I can tell you firsthand, as I've worked with a lot of women, again, right after baby to many years down the road, their kids are off to college, and their low back hurts and their neck hurts and they're starting to get that little bit of rounded over shoulders and things like that because what they've never been taught, and it's not that they don't know, it's that no one really talks about it, and that's what I'm here to do. So you hear me talk a lot about doing your Kegels, and if you're pregnant you think about hugging your baby, right? So that's the way to help engage your transverse abdominals. Again, I talk a lot about that, but what that does is that wraps around and helps hold and support the added weight of your baby, plus it turns your back muscles on, right, and gives you some support. Now, after baby and beyond, again, it doesn't matter where you're at after baby. If you've had a baby, you're after baby, in my opinion, whether you've had one baby, whether you've had 4 babies, whether you've had 6 babies, which kudos to you moms. I don't know, I have 3 and I have my hands full. So I don't know how you do it when you have more than three babies at home. It's crazy. But anyway, so your transverse abdominals, again, you guys hear me talk a lot about, but after baby, you want to think about, drawing your belly in and up. Now, in a lot of more classic type workout things, you might hear people say, draw your navel to your spine. Okay, that's fine to a point, but that actually kind of creates you to hold your breath in. And if you do it right now and you pull your belly to your spine, you kind of see how I want to go forward. So that doesn't really do me any good, right? But if I think about activating my pelvic floor gently is a key in a lot of this. You want to lift and grow tall and continue lifting from the top of your head. So this is something I've come up with in the last year or so, is this whole really lifting from the top of your head. Because a little bit traditionally, we tend to everyone say shoulders back. And so then you do that, but I'm going to show you something. When you go shoulders back, your head goes forward, and then I get all this tightness in my neck. And so many people can't do flexion work later on because their neck is always tight, right? So when you think about standing tall and activating these muscles, I want you to try it right now. Whether you're sitting, whether you're standing, wherever you're at right now, I want you to just think about, all I want you to do is lift from the top of your head and feel what happens. Your shoulders gently go back. It's amazing. And you feel your core gently turn on. Again, it's all lightly activated. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not, trying to just, I'm not doing intense crunches or anything like that. Because if you actually engage your pelvic floor too much, too hard, it's actually kind of counterproductive. So you want to gently activate. And this is something that it takes time and it takes practice, and you have to constantly remind yourself to, stand tall and think about hugging your baby or scooping that belly in and up. And if you do that throughout your day, whenever you're doing anything, picking your baby up, picking up toys, doing laundry, and just kind of almost make it a little exercise, and especially holding your baby. That's a big one. Especially when my babies were little, holding them, I would always try to remind myself, because you catch yourself like a hip, and then all of a sudden your back starts really hurting and stuff just really gets out of whack when you have a little one at home, because you're rounded so much. And it is just kind of the lifestyle of a mom. We are just rounded, we're looking down a lot. So as much as you can, try to remember to lift tall. And when you're exercising, that's a great lead-in to doing any sort of exercise. And hands down right there, that's going to help you activate those deep abs, which is going to help draw your belly flat. So, I see a lot of fit moms, they've got little kids, you go to sports and stuff, and you see these moms that you can tell they work out, you can tell they're fit and everything, but then you see they've got a little belly pooch. And for some, maybe you can't get rid of it, and that's fine, or maybe you don't care. But if you do care and you want to do something about it, you can. So when it comes to doing abdominal work, this is where if you've been following me for a long time, I'm like anti-crunches, no crunches until, of course, your abs and your core is ready for that. But I've talked a lot about this deep core because if you start doing crunches too soon or really intense abdominal work before and your deep core isn't even working, then you actually can produce your abs to pop out. And you may even notice bodybuilders that tend to have really intense six-pack look. They're doing a lot of really intense crunches and crunch type exercises and oblique work to really get their abs to be, profound, and so you can see those. But I feel like for the average mom at home, we just want to, we want to feel good, right? You want to feel good. You want to be able to run around after your kids. You don't want your back to hurt. And then from a vanity standpoint, if you can have a flat belly, that'd be great. So incorporating this does all of the above. So it's great that you can get that flat belly by incorporating a little bit of this and standing tall and really being conscious of your posture, conscious of your deep core. But I get even more excited when we're talking about the health benefits of getting rid of that little bit of belly bulge. And all you're doing now is you're activating those deep abs, and you've taken that pressure off your lower back. Okay, because that's where a lot of that back pressure or that back pain comes from, is when you're pregnant, your belly pulls your back forward, and we tend to get a really big arch in our low back, and you get this pinching around your sacrum for some, and for some it can create sciatic problems. And, it can create, you even get round ligament in the front because it causes your hips to close up in the front. So we've got to work on, recreating balance throughout our body. So this is the first step to doing that. It's just really focusing on posture. And one other little thing I want to hit on here is about diastasis recti. So it's becoming a little bit more talked about, but it needs to be talked about even more. A lot of times if you go to your OB and they may or may not even check you. I've actually asked OBs, why don't you bring this up to your patients? Because it's a big thing that I talk about with every single client. We're aware of it when you're pregnant. I'm aware of it after baby. We have a whole little progression that I make you go through. You have to be patient. So you have to wait at least 8 weeks after you've had that baby to even check for diastasis, because your uterus is still stretched out. And so it doesn't do you any good to check it 3 weeks postpartum and say, oh yeah, I have separation. Well, pretty much everybody does, because your abs have stretched. They have to stretch. So you have to give your body time to let that uterus shrink back, let everything calm back down before you really start to do more than just activating like I've been talking about. So, the diastasis recti, it is a very important and a very issue that we need to talk about more. So, if you're OB, you can ask your OB about it, but they may say, oh, you're fine. But the thing is that you might be fine, but if you've got a 2-finger width or a 3-finger width space, it can, for the most part, probably be brought back together. I don't want to guarantee that, but because everybody's bodies are different. But the sooner you catch it, again, 8 weeks plus or after, and progress, slowly and appropriately, the more likely you're going to get those abs to come back and flat again. And it doesn't mean you might have a little bit of a stretched linea alba, which is that connective tissue which connects your rectus abdominis together, but at least what we're working on is we're working on really connecting our deep core, so hopefully we can, decrease back pain, hopefully completely get rid of it actually, and just create this nice, strong, deep core that's going to support us for the rest of our life. So the sooner you can start creating these great habits, the more likely you're going to feel so much better literally for the rest of your life. So give the postural stuff a try, and next video we're going to talk about some exercise. I'm going to address actual exercise a little bit more, talking a little bit about, are you exercising enough? Are you exercising too much? And what is the right amount for you? So have a great day, and I'll see you next time.